In this video, we're going to be providing an update on Jess and the crazy developments between her and Colt since filming ended. After dramatically revealing she's now married to a new man, what's all this drama about criminal activity and babies already? Is this really a green card scam? And hold on a minute, after losing a ton of weight, why is Colt being threatened with violence by this guy? And what's it got to do with Hulk Hogan? So let me take you back to that memorable scene in Brazil. We see Jess walk in, we see her throw open the door, whip off her shoe and haul it across the room at Colt. Before our eyes, Colt's good guy image was crumbling beyond repair. All along he'd presented himself as this poor innocent mummy's boy, that he was a victim, he'd been abused by his evil ex-wife Larissa, and now here was someone else questioning his integrity. The whole argument was caused by Jess finding out that Colt was still talking to his friend Vanessa, but as is often the case when someone's being cheated on, Jess had a niggling suspicion from pretty early on that something wasn't quite right. She suspected that Colt may be cheating on her, and she had a pretty strong suspicion that it was with Vanessa. For his part, Colt kept denying it and made Jess out to be crazy for feeling that way.
You play with the woman's mind, Colt. You wanna always say that the woman is crazy.
Yeah.
But it turned out that her gut instinct was right all along. Not only had Colt Johnson been sending intimate photos of his Johnson to at least 8 different women, he also revealed on the tell-all that he'd been sleeping with Vanessa while he was in a relationship with Jess. In fact, he only dated Jess because Vanessa turned him down.
Why you started dates with me if you love Vanessa?
Because Vanessa said no. And if she said yes, I would have dated her in a second.
What made this whole situation even more bizarre were the lengths that Colt and Vanessa were willing to go to in order to hide their relationship and try to throw Jess off the trail. Jess released screenshots of fake conversations between Colt and Vanessa that Colt had forwarded to her in order to convince her that he wasn't cheating. In one of the messages, Colt can be seen telling Vanessa that he loves Jess and wants Vanessa to stop messaging him and stay out of his life. According to Jess, Vanessa admitted that she was in on all of these fake conversations, and the cheating pair planned them out so that Colt could continue to film the rest of the season and stop Jess from leaving him. Jess posted about the incident to Instagram saying, quote, "This is the proof how they lied and manipulated me the entire time. When I started to suspect about their affair, I questioned him and he sent those screenshots to me. Vanessa told me he called her and both agreed to fake the conversation. This way I would calm down, he could finish the season, after that they could be together." But it gets even worse. After their relationship ended, Colt leaked Jess's nude photos, sending them to his friends. Jess revealed that one of Colt's friends had got in touch with her privately to inform her that he'd seen her naked. And sadly, it turns out that Colt has a track record of doing this because, according to ex-wife Larissa, he did the same thing to her too. Jess said, quote, "He leaked my private pictures I trusted him with, sent it to friends, and made me lose my job." Jess had been working as a nanny in Chicago, coming to the States on an au pair visa. So given that she was working with young kids and now had adult photos circulating, it's understandable why her employers might not have been too happy. But here's where it gets even weirder. In screenshots taken of a conversation between Jess and Vanessa, Vanessa admitted that she'd also seen Jess's nude photos, and bizarrely, that Colt's entire photo gallery on his phone was full of naked photos of ex-girlfriends. In the messages between the pair, Jess asks, quote, "Why did you see my nudes?" To which Vanessa replies, quote, "That's his whole gallery, nudes of you, Larissa, I've seen them all. I didn't sit there and analyse them, just scrolled through." I mean, dude, what the hell? It's strange enough keeping all of those naked photos on your phone, but the idea of Colt showing them to Vanessa and distributing them among all his friends isn't just weird, it's also illegal. There's laws against spreading those kind of revenge photos, and to be honest, the fact that he stooped so low says a lot about his character and his vindictive nature. All this lying and mental anguish played havoc with Jess. In a recent Instagram post, she accused Colt of being emotionally abusive and said, quote, I lost my identity, cried a lot, was unhappy, and started to question whether I was crazy like he said so many times. I went into deep depression, and till this day I go to therapy to try to get over it and to get back to my happy old self.
I most definitely was not a good boyfriend to Jess. I've made so many mistakes, it's gonna take a long time for me to reflect and process everything.
Now, we'll come back to what's happening with Colt shortly. You're definitely going to want to hear about the threats of violence, the bizarre link with Hulk Hogan, and of course the latest with his on-off relationship with Vanessa. But before we get to that, let's quickly talk about Jess's new husband. In the dramatic tell-all, Jess revealed that in the short time since breaking up with Colt, and we're talking just a few months, she's since got married to another guy. And in a bizarre twist of fate, the whole chain of events leads back to Colt. Let me explain what I mean. So, back in 2019, after Colt and Larissa divorced, Colt appeared in a music video for the song Miss You 1 Million by Alex Winston. The video made fun of Larissa and their marriage, and that got Larissa pretty angry. When the opportunity arose for Larissa to appear in a music video herself, for the song If I Scream in My Sleep by the artist Brian Hanvey, she and boyfriend Eric jumped at the chance. The pair struck up a friendship with the singer Brian, introduced him to Carmen, the lady Larissa was living with, and as Vanessa explains,
when I start talking with Larissa, Larissa introduced Carmen to me, and me and Carmen start talking every day. And she said, Jess, I think you need to try dates again because you're so pretty, so nice.
Jess and Brian hit it off immediately, with Brian apparently driving 12 hours to see her during their first date. So who is Brian? What do we know about him? Well, he's a musician, he's 26 years old, so 2 years younger than Jess, born and raised in Michigan, and he started his music career with the band Leave It to Tragedy. The band seems to have had moderate success, even getting a record deal, but unfortunately that didn't last too long, and after the band split up, Brian's focus has been on carving a career as a solo artist. At the time of recording this video, he currently has 649 monthly listeners on Spotify. And while it doesn't appear as though his music career has hit the big time just yet, he and Jess have bonded over their shared taste in music, their vegetarianism, and both liking the outdoors. Brian has even written a song for her titled Love Me Till You're Old. There's no music video for the song just yet, but I'm willing to bet money that Jess will make an appearance. So was this a case of whirlwind romance and love at first sight? Well, in typical 90-day fashion, things aren't ever that simple. The pair have openly admitted that they got married so that Jess could remain in the States after losing her au pair job. The nature of an au pair J1 visa meant that without a job, she'd need to leave. Despite not really knowing each other all that well, both claim that they have no regrets. Brian has said that he's happy to spend their marriage getting to know each other rather than wondering what could have been. So the big question is, do they really see a future together? Is this, or could this, blossom into love? Or is this strictly a business relationship? I mean, the cynic in me thinks that both might be trying to get something out of this. After all, Brian has a track record of trying to use 90 Day Fiance stars in order to boost his music career, and in fairness to him, it seems to have worked out quite well. Just look at the number of views his song that features Larissa and Eric has compared to his other songs. It's a big difference, especially for a relatively unknown musician trying to get his name out there. And on the other side of the equation, we've got Jess, who also stands to gain something. She gets to extend her stay in America, and she's now in the process of applying for her green card through marriage for the right to permanent residency. What do you think? Am I being too harsh? Is there a chance that this really is the real deal? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. For what it's worth, Colt and Debbie have made their opinion very clear.
I'm happy for the newlyweds and their new green card.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. If it's proven that the marriage was entered into solely for the intention of gaining legal residence, then that would be fraudulent and illegal. I'm not a legal expert, but I'm sure the folks over at the Green Card office will be interested in admissions like this on national TV.
We had to rush it because she lost her job, so I thought the best thing to do is to marry her. It's like, make sure we can keep growing our relationship.
Okay, so you two got married So that you could stay in the United States?
We were talking about getting married before, but not this fast.
Not the first.
Anyway, despite it all, the newlyweds haven't let the negativity affect them. In an Instagram Q&A, Jess revealed that her plan is to have his babies within a year or two, and she also revealed that she'd like to move back to Brazil after having kids, at least for a few years, so that Brian can get to know her family, learn Portuguese, and learn about her culture. So what about Colt? What's he up to? Well, his on-off relationship with Vanessa seems very much back on, if recent videos on social media are anything to go by. Despite Vanessa claiming that she doesn't want a relationship with Colt as he doesn't know what he wants, and apparently he's a serial womanizer, yeah, I can't believe it either, the two seem to be pretty cozy together in the last few weeks, much to the annoyance of Vanessa's ex-husband who's weighed in on the drama. In a recent YouTube interview, Vanessa's ex-husband revealed that Vanessa and Colt had an affair while she was still married to him. And as you can imagine, he isn't too happy about it all. He said,
and apparently this is the thing he's done. He doesn't care if women are married or not. You know, he really doesn't care. He doesn't care who he hurts. He doesn't care whose, lives he interferes with. I really think the dude is a total scumbag, is my opinion of him. Trust me, it's taken every bit of restraint that I could possibly muster up to keep from putting that dude in the hospital. But I think, that's a large part of his problem. I think he treats people the way that he does because he's never had his ass whooped. Some people are respectful and some people need to be taught respect. And I think he needs a lesson.
Now, I'm not sure how Colt will fare in a fight, but if things did turn violent, he might just have Hulk Hogan in his corner to back him up. Let me explain. So, in recent weeks, Colt has struck up an unlikely friendship with Hulk's son, Nick Hogan. In fact, the video of Vanessa and Colt holding hands was shared on Instagram by Nick's girlfriend, Tanner Lee, and she also shared what looked to be a cozy double date featuring the four of them at a restaurant. Colt and Nick apparently met at a barbecue in Vegas and have struck up a close friendship ever since, with Nick and his girlfriend Tanner even going round to meet Debbie and play on her infamous slot machine. We've not yet seen any pictures of Colt and Hulk Hogan together, but who knows, we might see Nick and Hulk on a future episode of 90 Day Fiance, because if Vanessa's ex-husband is to be believed, Colt and Vanessa are currently filming a new spin-off TV show. In fairness, Nick Hogan is no stranger to reality TV, having grown up on Hogan Knows Best, a show that followed the lives of his family, so I guess he understands media scrutiny better than most, and maybe he might be able to give Colt a tip or two. Colt and Nick also have another thing in common. Just as Colt's mini-me pictures, the ones that he sent to girls while he was dating Jess, have been circulating around the internet, Nick also went through something similar himself, when his iCloud was hacked back in 2014 and his intimate photos were also leaked to the internet. Maybe that's what's caused such a close bond between the pair. But what's noticeable from recent social media posts is that Colt appears to have lost a lot of weight. By his own admission, he said, quote, "Ever since my breakup with Jess, I'm at a weird spot in my life. I don't really like what I see in the mirror." And all credit to him, he's clearly made the decision to prioritise his diet and exercise routine in a bid to get back to his slimmer physique from when he was younger. And it seems to be paying off. And it also seems to be impressing Vanessa. Her recent comment under one of his weight loss pics reads, quote, "Looking like a snack. Come on guys, get a room." So what do you think? Tell me, are you excited about a potential Colt and Vanessa spin-off TV show? Will you be watching? Let me know in the comments down below. And hey, do me a favour, if you've made it this far to the end of the video, take just 2 seconds to hit that like button to show your support, and if you haven't already, consider subscribing to my channel to stay up to date with all of my latest videos, like the Larissa one that's on screen now. Thank you for watching, catch you on the next video.